I have a book in me. This is my friend, my brother.
Thank you, Kelly and Oliver.
I'm a multi-award winning best-selling author.
If you want to start a new business, I suggest you write the book on it.
God woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and I wrote a book.
Some of you got books already. Some of you got novels already.
The lead generator is the book.
You write a book, you leave a legacy to your children.
And I hope you guys listen to these guys so they know what they're talking about.
What's up, everybody? I'm the publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole.
And writing coach, Dr. Oliver T. Reid.
Yo, welcome to another edition of Books-N-Brothas podcast. Another week. What's up, bro? How's everything?
Man, doing good, bro. How you doing, man? It's been a trying week, but made it through.
Yes.
You know. What about you?
Same here, man. Trying week, but we keep him pushing. We gave him the topic last week about, not giving up on your dreams and your why is the thing that keeps you going. So
Yes.
hanging on that, keeping going and just staying on top of it, man. Not giving up.
Yeah, man. You can't. You definitely cannot do that, bro.
Because this world is a crazy place, man.
It is. It is, man. I was sharing with you before we jumped on, just being a loved one, man, and just seeing them having, 5 kids and 34 years old. You talked last week about some of the kids that were got, murdered in Chicago. And I was just thinking it hit home this week. It was natural causes, but it was still from a standpoint that, when everybody came together, we were like, man, time is short. We don't really have time to play. And so it just made me have a different perspective again, man. Just kind of push forward.
Mm. Yeah, bro. Same. Yeah, I was just thankful, man, to make it out of Chicago and get back into my space. It was like, riding through, how they describe Sodom and Gomorrah looking like hell. Like it was so gloomy and so much smoke, and the people look so like zombies, bro. July, and it was just crazy, bro. So I'm thankful to be back in VA. The sky is clear, the grass, the birds are chirping, the air is cleaner, and I thank God for where I am, man. I hate Chicago. If it wasn't for my family being there, I would never go back to visit. But Chicago's just a bad place, man. I'm grateful, like I said, to be back in my own space, be back to, making things happen. So yeah, man, I think we got something powerful that'll help some people who listen to the podcast. And by the way, you guys, I appreciate everybody who comments and tells me they enjoy the podcast. Please leave us a review. Please share it. Please comment on our social media outlets so more people can know to check out the podcast, and please share it because like I said, I get hit up a lot of people just saying, hey, I'm enjoying the podcast, this and that. So rate us on iTunes, leave us a comment and a review, and we appreciate it. But yeah, so what we're talking about today, bro, is how to prepare to work with a publisher.
Yeah.
I'll kick it off. I think people are confused about the two. So I want to start with the difference between a traditional publisher and a self-publishing company. Right? So what Publishing Advantage Group is, we are a done-for-you self-publishing company, meaning we do all the work for you. So you still own all of your rights. You still own all of your royalties. We just do the work for you. We just, we do the editing, your formatting, your book cover, and all of the different steps using our expertise and our experiences to get it done for you. Okay. A traditional publisher, they're not going to even talk to you without a literary agent. Okay. The only way to get a literary agent is you got to have some pretty big traction, and you're going to have a name, a following for them to even talk to you, and you're going to have an amazing story. All right, that agent is going to take a piece for shopping it. So the agent is going to shop you to traditional publishers. The traditional
Mhm.
publishers may offer you a book deal, okay? But they're going to get a percentage of your royalties. They're going to offer you an upfront advance, but you may not ever get a royalty from your book.
That's right.
So the likely of that happening without some traction and a huge following is slim to none. The cool thing about starting with a self-publishing company is at any point you get approached by a traditional publisher, you can still go do that deal because you still own your rights and your royalties. This is a way to start building that platform to attract a traditional publisher. So I wanted to throw that out there first, bro, and kind of help them with
Yeah.
that. But you can go ahead and share your first point.
Yeah, I love that fact because a lot of people, I get that as being a writing coach. What's the difference? I get that all the time. What's the difference? And, what we always, say is based on what you want in life. And a lot of people don't know the difference. And I was thinking the biggest thing to do is working with people that I'll start my first point leading into that as a writing coach and working with you with the publishing company and being transparent. I knew nothing about publishing at first. I knew nothing about even writing. I just had a gift and a skill, and I wanted to get it out. And so a lot of times when clients come to us, they're in that place of passion. But my ideal client is somebody that has passion. When they come to me with wanting to get their book published and wanting to get the book out, they have passion, but I always say that passion is not enough. So my ideal client is that client that comes to me, point one is that has passion, but they are persistent.
Yeah.
Because I think persistency, being persistent or teaching somebody how to be persistent is kind of hard. You can kind of coach them and say, hey, show up. But that person that comes in and say, hey, I got passion and persistence, and they are like on top of you. They're like, hey, what's going on? What's the next step? What do I need to do? If it's 10 pages I need to write per week, I got 15. And those are clients that it brings that energy and that collaboration because you have to write the content, like we always say, before you can even get it published. So getting through that content phase when you have that passion, but then it also turns into persistence and that they are on top of you. They're kind of like, hey, they're listening, they're persistent. So that's my point.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, I think this is very important. Like, one of the things you could do, like Doc said, own yourself is at least knowing where you want to go and what you want to do. Like you said, be consistent and like having some type of plan.
Right.
Here's something that bothers me as a publisher when people come to me. And it bothers me because I feel like they share this with me to try to impress me, but I'm not impressed. And I'm going to tell you why. I hate when people come to me and say that they got 4 books, but they haven't even written or published the first one.
Right.
But they want to impress me by they say they got 8 books, they got 7 books. Now, I'm not talking about the people who have published them and got them out there on the market. These are people who haven't even wrote an outline for the first book or got the first book done. So my first tip is before you start talking about how many books, you got 5 books and this is going to be a series of 8 books, finish the first book first.
Yes.
Write the first word first. Create the first outline. Finish the first one. You're not impressing anybody by saying this is going to be an 8-book series and you haven't written the first book nor put the first book out. So finish the first book first. That should not be the first thing that comes out of your mouth when you talk to a publisher that you got 8 books in you. No, one at a time. Finish the first one. If you listen, this is your first time listening to our podcast, go back and listen to the podcast where we talked about our first book and what we learned from the mistakes we made on our first book. You got to get that first one out first, and that's going to propel you to write several books. It started with 1 for me. Now, because I did that 1, I know how to create. I can write
Right.
a book a week if I wanted to now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've done it. Get the first one out first. So you're not impressing me when you come to me and you said this is going to be an 8-book series or I got 4 books in me. Okay, have you published any of them? Have you finished writing any of them? No. Finish the first one first. So that's my first point, bro.
Man, I love it. Finish the first one first. You know, and I get that too. You know, with piggybacking on that before I go to the next point is that people trying to write, if you're trying to write, and I'll just say the number 2, don't try to write multiple books at one time.
Yeah.
I get that a lot of times with people who want either to let me coach them through writing or they're talking to me about a writing project. And they're like, well, I got 3 and I got 4 that I'm working on. Right. And I'm like, you know, I get it as a creative, but you're never going to finish if you got 2 or 3 that you're working on a lot of times because it's hard enough to get that first one done. Like you said, getting that first product out.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't try to write a whole, you know, I always say this, if you go back a lot of podcasts, you don't have to finish to be finished, which means that you don't have to write your whole dissertation to get it out. And I think that's what helps people or holds them back. Either it helps them when you realize that I don't have to give you the whole cake, I can give you a slice. Because sometimes that slice is big enough.
Yeah.
And so I would just say, hey, man, don't try to work on multiple books at one time, like you said, when you don't even have the first one out. And so I get that a lot. Like I've been writing in several journals. I you know, I typed up several documents, and I'm like, which one? Going back to what you said earlier, what are you clear on, and what do you want to write about, and then what tasks are you going to do first? And I think that that's the biggest thing. I think working with people who understand, they want to write a book, for example, about food, and they want to write a book about a specific food, and they want to do a cookbook. Great. But when you start saying, hey, I want to talk about food, then I want to talk about food production, and then I want to talk about food distribution.
Yeah.
I mean, then you're going to be all over the place. So I think working with people who say, hey, this is what I need to do, we can attack that topic together, and then you can be informed. And then I would say, don't try to do multiple books at one time. Like Kelly was saying, bro, like you said, having 8 books that ain't finished is having 0 books that ain't done.
Yeah, I mean, you right. You cannot spread yourself and be writing 5 different books at the same time. Lock in and finish one first.
Mm-hmm.
Like just lock in and gorilla that mud. All right.
Yep.
All right. My next point. Don't overthink it. Doc he hinted on this. Don't overthink it. You know, I'm a simple guy. And I don't get caught up on how many words should a chapter be, how many paragraphs. A chapter can be 1 paragraph. A chapter can be 1 sentence.
Yep.
It could be whatever you want it to be. A lot of times you're waiting on everything to line up or waiting for the light to turn green in order to go. You just need to go. You need to start writing. You just need to start getting your thoughts out. Just get everything out. And then at the end, once you finish getting it out, then put it all together.
Yeah.
Quit letting all of this stuff that means nothing. Like it means absolutely nothing if you have 1,000 words per chapter, or how many chapters should your book be? The book is not finished until it's finished.
That's right.
If it's got 5 chapters and you've got everything out that you wanted to get out, it's finished.
Right.
If it's got 10 chapters, it's finished.
Yep. That's so good.
So quit worrying about all of the extra stuff that doesn't mean anything. What's most important is you come up with what you want your book to be about, and you actually just finish writing the book. The editor can help you put things in order. The formatter, like there's tools out there that help you organize it, but your part is you have to just focus on writing the book and getting it done.
Man, I love it. I love it. Writing the book and getting it done. Which leads me into my point. My point 3 is this. Don't try to do it all. Let me help you, or let the professional help you, right? I get this, Kelly. I know you definitely get this being a publisher. I get this at the writing level all the time, on the relationship coaching level, where people come to me, but then you're trying to tell me what's best.
Right.
And I'm always like, yeah, I get it. I want to keep the creativity. It's always a dialogue when I'm working with clients, working with somebody to bring their book to pass. Well, it irks me a lot of times, bro, when you're sitting there and you got the formula and you show them the blueprint.
Yeah.
For example, we've shown you how you know tools to write your book in 2 weeks, or how to strategize it out, and you have somebody else to say, well, you know, I was doing it this way, which is great. Do it this way, but how far is that guiding you right now?
Right.
You know, let the expert, like you were saying about formatting. Like I have so many people who try to edit their work where they never get finished. Like I'm like, why are you editing? Don't worry about the editing. Don't worry about the promo of how it's going to look. The commercial's going to look about the book.
Right.
It's fine. We need you to just finish what you started. And I think that's it's irking, because sometimes a lot of my energy around helping somebody give birth to something is trying to get them to get out of their own way. Like we got stuff in place. You know, we got stuff in place, worrying about, you know, some people worried about, and I want you to hit on this too, Kelly. You said a lot about how much something costs.
Yeah.
Whether
That was going to be my next point. Go ahead.
Oh, wow. So I was like, I ain't gonna hit on that, but from a standpoint, it was like, man, get out of your own way. I was talking to somebody the other day, and then they were like, I was giving them the formula of how to write the book, how to bring out some of the stuff, because they were just kind of just 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, you want to take the writer or the reader on a journey with you. Here's some things you do. And they were like, well, I've always written like this. So I was like, okay. You know, but at the end of the day, that book would have been so much better had they would have been, you know, willing to take it to the next level, take that book from 40-some pages. I could have easily helped them take it to 40 to 100 pages if they would just did the steps that I was trying to give.
Right. Yeah. So my final point, you touched on it. Quit trying to pinch pennies and save money by messing up stuff yourself.
Yes.
You end up trying to be cheap. You end up spending more money trying to be cheap. You think you have no clue about what you're doing, then go ahead and hire an expert. Now, I speak from experience. I'm not just saying this because I'm a publisher now. I'm saying this because I've lost at least $500,000 by trying to do things on my own and telling without hiring an expert and telling them what they should be doing, or they got it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. I would be a millionaire 10 times over had I listened to my original coach and invested the $5,500 he asked for to come to I think it was a boot camp he was having. Now this is way back. This is 15 years ago. It's $5,500 boot camp, right? He told me on the phone exactly what he was going to be teaching in this boot camp, right? He gave me the blueprint, right? And at the boot camp, it was an implementation boot camp. So if I would have paid the $5,500, went to the boot camp, they were actually going to set up my business, right? I told this guy who was already a multimillionaire that he was crazy, that it didn't make sense what he was telling me to do, but I was broke and he was the multimillionaire. Now I want you to think about that. Like, how dumb was I? As I was talking to him, I was headed to clock in at Walmart, where I was making $10 an hour, and he's a multimillionaire, and yet I'm telling him he's crazy and he's nuts for telling me exactly what to do and exactly how to set up the exact blueprint that he used to make his millions. Now, fast forward 15 years later, I literally have paid quadruple that price to have someone set up for me the same system.
Wow. Whoa.
Now, so I not only paid quadruple to get the same system set up, I also lost all of the money of trying to figure it out over the years by myself.
Yep. Wow.
So I'm gonna end my final point like this. You're gonna spend more money and lose more money trying to be cheap and trying to save money than you are to go ahead and invest in a specialist, in an expert, someone
Yeah.
who knows how to do it. There's no question that somebody can hit me with about book publishing that I
Hmm.
don't know the answer to.
Right. That's true.
I've done it. I've been doing it so long. I've done it. I know the outs and the ins and the ins and the outs. I know the problems that could arrive. I know all of it. So if I have a client who they don't even have books in hand yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've already set a date for a book signing and promoting it. And I'm like,
Wow.
you don't even know what could happen between now
Exactly.
and then. And especially with COVID, ain't no telling when you're gonna have.
Ain't no telling.
Do not. I'm gonna say this for the people that's listening. Do not plan a book signing. Do not set a date for anything. Do not book a venue until you have books in hand for the
Yeah.
event. Absolutely do not. I've had so many authors have a book signing with no books, and it's the most embarrassing thing. So to save yourself the embarrassment, the heartache, the shame, be
Yeah.
patient. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Be patient.
Marathon.
You waited all these years anyway to write the book and finish the book. Why are you going to rush to the finish line now?
That's true.
Be
Wow.
patient. Wait till you have your books in hand. Wait till you got at least 50 or 100 books on hand to do your book signing.
That's so good.
My final point. That's it, bro. That's all I got for. I'm done preaching.
Wow. Wow, man. Listen, that right there, again, leads me to my final point. You know what I mean? Let us help you. Let us help you. I said it earlier, but the only way you're going to be able to really let somebody help you, because I've been in that same position, Kelly, as far as, even things that you have told me, people have told me, and I'm like, I can just do it a better way. You're going to end up going right back and spending that money or even spending that time, because the biggest investment is that time for you to do whatever. And my last point leading in that is this: make up your mind. When you make up your mind, I think everything else that we've been saying today will follow. When your mind is made up, you're clear on what you want to do. You're persistent. You're letting us help you. You're at a point where not trying to take the cheap way out. You got to be patient. All those different things that we've been saying. Patience is a virtue. You have to also allow people, Kelly. You hit on something that really made me think. You have to allow the expert to work for you and give them time. Because sometimes you want the expert to turn around something in a day that you've been working on for 40 years, right? You want to, and it's almost like going to the doctor. The doctor will tell you got to take this meds for 14 days, 3 times a day. And you might say, well, I don't have any more symptoms. He's going to tell you still got to take it because the medicine still has to take time to work through your system and build up a tolerance. When you rush, I've seen stuff, bro, where we've helped people and it's professional, but you haven't really made up your mind. So the way you release it, because you want to do it so quick, you are basically, how would you say, detaching or igniting or whatever you call it with your parachute. You're inflating your parachute way before time, right? So you need to be able to jump out of the plane until you jump out of the plane, and at a certain time, that's when you release the parachute. So what I'm saying, man, time is everything. One thing about our bro, the business, they teach you business and marketing plans. If you follow it, it's going to be great. Because I had some people do this, and we could talk all day, but we try to set a date for them, and they released the book already. I've told people like, hey, this is what you need to do in the marketing scene. And I've had people I look online, they already released it. And I'm like, why are you releasing it? And then they wonder why, hey, I didn't make this particular list. It didn't turn out the right way. Let us help you, and then give us time and have your mind made up.
Right. Yeah, bro. I agree. That's it, man. We hit y'all in the head with enough this morning, but there's a few tips, like I said, on how to prepare to work with a publisher and how to get the best results. Like we know what we're doing. I've been doing it so long. Doc has been doing it so long. Let us help you. I mean, that's the perfect way to end. Let us help you. Any final words, bro, before we give them our rundown?
Man, you get in what you put out, or you put out what you get in. Either way you want to look at that. That's all I got for him, bro.
Got it. All right. Make sure you guys, once again, like I said, I get a lot of feedback of people who say they enjoy the podcast. Make sure you're sharing it with people. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify. Follow us on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Follow us. We're on IG, Books-N-Brothas. And if you want some one-on-one coaching, you want some help, we're here. Shoot us an email, Books-N-Brothas, and make sure you share this with somebody. Maybe it'll help somebody. We're here. We would love to help you. And on that note, you don't have to get it right.
Just got to get it going.
All right, bro. Love you, man. See you next week.
Love you, bro. Peace.
I have a book in me. This is my friend, my brother.
Thank you, Kelly and Oliver.
I'm a multi-award winning best-selling author.
If you want to start a new business, I suggest you write the book on it.
God woke me up at 2:30 in the morning and I wrote a book.
Some of you got books already. Some of you got novels already.
The lead generator is the book.
You write a book, you leave a legacy to your children.
And I hope you guys listen to these guys so they know what they're talking about.